Now, let me ask you a question. If you have strength in your legs to get up this morning, can you walk? Yes. If you have faith that you have strength in your legs, you can walk just as well when you have no strength at all as when you actually have physical strength in your legs. They equal each other. Oh, I can't walk. Do you believe you receive? You bet I do. Then you can walk as well as somebody that has strength. Because heaven sees your belief as a completed manifestation, while you see it as just the beginning of where I need to wait until I have a manifestation, and then I can actually be healed. Live in the Spirit, walk in the Spirit, pray in the Spirit. How do you do that? By faith. What does faith do? It propels you into the end result of the very thing that you don't think you have, but by faith you do. You are not at a loss this morning. I don't care what part of your body does not work like it should. If you'll flat believe that it's yours and see that God sees that as being well, you can experience today everything that somebody else that doesn't have a problem in that area has already experienced. Had a guy come up to me and said, this arm right here won't work. I said, how's the other one? He said, well, the other one's great. This is the one I need. I said, how's the other one? And he wasn't getting it. He said, well, this one's great. He said, this is the one that I need. I said, do you have good feelings and good thoughts and emotions about this one that works? He says, well, of course. I said, can you give those feelings and those emotions and thoughts to the one that doesn't? And he goes, I think I can do that. I said, well, do that right now. I said, move this one up. He goes, well, I can move it. I said, it feels great to do that. He goes, yes. I said, feel the same way about that arm. Think the same way about that arm. I said, now move it. He goes, oh my gosh. See, he wanted to curse himself. See, it's a bad arm. Well, it'll always be a bad arm until you believe it's a good arm. The moment you believe it's a good arm, heaven says it's well. And what would heaven say to you right now? Heaven would say, well, people ought to be able to stretch their arms. What was the Holy Ghost doing with Brother Hagin? Leading him into the way that heaven operates. If heaven operates that way, then nothing about this earthly world should ever matter, whether it's right or whether it's wrong, if you're in a place of faith. You mean you're never at a loss for overcoming obstacles, sickness, disease, trouble in your life? Not when you walk in faith. Because when you walk in faith, you walk in the answer. Now, I'll just throw this in as a little piece of meat for you to think about, because it's 9:45. We're going to have to be done here in just a couple of minutes. Get ready for the next service. Everything about Mark chapter 11:24 is Old Covenant. It's Old Covenant. I have to believe that I receive something that I don't possess. But believing that it's mine causes me to walk in it as though it is mine. New Covenant, he has already blessed us with every spiritual blessing, so it already is mine. It's like E.W. Kenyon said, in the Gospels, Jesus encouraged people to believe. In the epistles, Paul encouraged people to act. So if it's already mine, what do I have to actually see? I have to see that it's mine. And then respond in faith that it is. Old Covenant, I have to believe that I receive something I don't have. And the moment I receive what I don't have, it becomes mine, which then the Holy Ghost will say, now you believe you're well. Well, of course I believe I'm well. Well, then well people ought to be up. I get to skip that step. In the New Covenant, I can just look at myself and say, get up. What would make you get up? Because it's already mine. Well, don't I have to believe I receive it? It's yours, whether you like it or not. And you won't get to heaven and complain, well, I never received my healing. You'll look back and see through the stripes of Jesus, it was there all along. Right?